Can be here, the Republican candidate for the Pennsylvania House of Representatives in District 42. I am coming here to share my reaction to the assassination attempt which occurred the Saturday before last in Butler County, Pennsylvania, on former President Donald J. Trump. A young man from Bethel Park, which is just outside my district, attempted to shoot and kill President Donald J. Trump. He was unsuccessful in killing him. He just wounded him in the ear. Thank goodness President Trump is alive. I'm very happy about that. I am not just sharing this as a politician or an outsider or someone reacting to the media. I am sharing this as a witness. I was there with my campaign manager, David J. Domino, when we were in Butler County, just after waiting all day, going to see the president, and he only spoke for about 6 to 7 minutes before tragedy struck and there was a grand catastrophe. Yes, so we were all there. I'm going to give a little bit of background, and then I'm going to talk about current events of today as it relates to this. We were all there. We were standing for about 3 hours. The president finally arrived. Right before that, everyone was dancing to the Village People songs, YMCA and Macho Man, and Mr. Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. Proud to be an American. And when we were there, we were waiting. He was speaking for 7 minutes. There was a chart on immigration. The president turned his head to look at the chart, and that's what saved his life, because then shots rang out and the shooter just wounded him in the ear. Thank goodness President Trump is alive. Unfortunately, I was quite near the unintended victim, the young man who dove in front of his family to protect them from harm. I saw blood and brains, and I had spoken to the deceased man earlier in the day. He just came there like everyone else. He wasn't intending to go home in a body bag. Wasn't intending to be shot in the head. And it sounds quite flippant to me the way I'm talking about this nonchalantly. However, it's such a shock. I'm still processing my emotions. All I know is what I saw was horrible. What I heard was horrible. There were children near me. This is completely inappropriate, completely unacceptable. So yes, I'm still processing my feelings about this. However, I do know one thing for sure. What I saw was a failure in government, whether it be the United States Secret Service, whose main mission at events like that is to protect the president. Luckily, the Secret Service counter-assault team did their job in annihilating the young man, taking him out before he could fire more shots. However, I'm sure, as you're well aware, most of you watching, they had known about this young man on the roof with a gun at a presidential event for approximately 20 minutes. They could have, in my opinion, taken him out before anything happened to the president and before anything happened to the fireman next to me who protected his family and died while doing so. And people might come after me saying I'm just a politician, I don't know anything about military operations. Well, I know one thing: if someone's on the roof for 20 minutes and you don't do anything about it, that's a failure. I've seen a failure in our government, whether it be the Butler County Police. I've seen a failure in our federal law enforcement, the Homeland Security Investigations Police that was there, the United States Secret Service. There are so many things that could have been done better. hindsight is always 2020. I will agree with that. We can't be perfect, but you need to do your job. You need to go to work every day intending to do your job, and you need to do it well. Your job there was to protect the president and failed. I'm sorry to anyone in law enforcement who might be watching this. I know you can't be perfect. I know many of you go to work each day intending to do your job, but what I saw was a failure. And it was a failure simply by the fact that it happened. They failed the American people. They failed the gentleman they were supposed to protect, the former president of the United States. They failed the public servant, the fireman who went there with his family to go to a rally of a politician of his liking and to come home safely. He's not going to do that. He died. I saw blood and brains. He's not coming back. And that's very sad and shocking to see something like that. So that brings me to my own opinions, why I'm running for office. I have now seen disturbing events. I know that the government is not perfect. I know that many of you might not trust the government. And I've now seen good reason why people might hold these opinions. My job, in addition to introducing legislation that's supportive of my communities, my constituency, will be government oversight and making sure that the government is as efficient and effective as possible. And when something like this happens, there's got to be questions. I have questions. The American people have questions. Our elected officials have questions. I will make sure to ask the right questions. I will make sure that we ask the right questions using the quote-unquote royal we, because my job will be to represent you. And I'm sure that if there's a tragedy, my constituency will want proper answers. Now, I'm not one to absolutely be rude or ruffle everyone's feathers, but I'm definitely not going to shy away from asking the right questions. Why? Because it's my job. It's going to be my job to help you, and it's going to be my job to get answers for you, to ensure that the right answers are given, the most appropriate answers are given, that people are answering honestly. As someone with a legal background, you're obviously trained or have some knowledge on how to tell when someone's not being honest, when someone is lying or being evasive. I've had plenty of time to think about this, but above all, my job will be to ensure that the government works appropriately for you, that the government keeps its hands off as much as it can. Any regulations promulgated by state agencies are effective and public comment is given weight. But the reason I'm making this video, in addition to what I said in the beginning, is because the Trump assassination attempt was a wake-up call for me as to what my job will entail. Thank you for listening. Please know I have all your interest and your best interest at heart. Please consider giving me your vote in November. Goodbye, friends.